There are several options within the Sweeps Property Manager that allow you to modify the profile of your sweep. The first of this that we'll examine is the thin feature. So if we go into Swept Boss Base and choose the profile, the square there, and the path here, and go into thin feature, we can see that we can represent tubing this way, or you can represent a hollow part using the thin feature here. You can choose either direction there, or the mid-plane. There are several other options here. In terms of the orientation of the profile, we can choose to keep the normal constant, and what that does is actually keeps the profile normal to its initial state throughout the sweep. You can also choose to twist the profile along the path. I'm also going to flip the direction of the thin feature so this works a little bit better. And we're going to set this to 90 degrees. And you can see that this turns our profile by 90 degrees. You can also twist it while keeping the normal constant as well. And the rest of the orientation options involve following guide curves, which we don't have in this sketch, so we'll leave that alone for now. You can see the resulting effect of that twist along path option. From here, I'll go ahead and go into a different document here. Sweep with guide curves. Another orientation option was that guide curves option. In this case, we're going to be using the oval as the profile, and the straight line here is the path. And then this guide curve, or spline right here, is going to be modifying the profile. So if we go into Swept Boss Base, choose the profile and the path, and then go into Guide Curves, we can choose that spline, and it'll automatically modify that profile. One thing to keep in mind when using guide curves with sweeps versus lofts is that the guide curve in the sweep is symmetrical about the plane that it's created in, whereas a loft is not. A loft would only modify the one side here. Personally, I tend not to use the sweep with guide curves option very often because it tends not to work very well. To demonstrate what I mean, I'll open up sweep versus loft here. And we can see we have a profile and a path and several guide curves here. If we go into Swept Boss Base, choose the profile and the path, and then we choose this guide curve, you can see that the preview goes away because this geometry is going to fail. We can create roughly the same geometry using a loft without any issues. If I choose these two profiles and choose the two guide curves here, you can see that that loft completes with no issues. Because of the way Solidworks works in the backend, sweep with guide curves tends to fail a lot, whereas the lofts with guide curves can produce the exact same desired geometry without any issue. And that's why I tend to use the loft with guide curves as opposed to the sweep with guide curves.